Most people have the occasional nightmare, but some seem to experience them repeatedly. Do they mean anything? There are many different possible interpretations of a nightmare on a subconscious level. Often nightmares have a more factual or personal cause. Nightmares are nothing more than the manifestation of your thoughts, feelings, and anxieties you experience while asleep. People tend to dream about 10 different types of nightmares. 10. Natural disasters. Have you ever had a nightmare that involved being in the middle of a violent hurricane, or maybe even experiencing an approaching tornado? Those types of bad dreams are said to indicate when you might be feeling something like fear or anxiety. From unpredictable weather-to-work deadlines, people are often feeling anxious and stressed out. This may be due to the unpredictability of this world. This can be caused by anxiety or nervousness about any situation that makes you feel uneasy, such as tests, doctor's appointments, speeches, and relationship issues. 9. Seeing the dead. In a zombie-style nightmare, you feel as though someone is trying to contact or approach you. This is often someone that recently died, a friend or family member, or it can be random people that you feel in the dream that you don't actually know. Nightmares like the one you described can often be attributed to a person's inability to process some sort of loss or traumatic event. For example, if you've been having nightmares about your recently deceased grandmother, this could show that you're having trouble coping emotionally and need help moving on. This isn't always the case, but sometimes these nightmares may be linked to fear of the unknown and anxiety about personal illness. For people with terminal or life-threatening health problems, it can be hard not to experience this type of nightmare. 8. Missing important events. Missing out on an important event can be a really scary prospect for most people. It's more common in those who live fast-paced lives, but it can happen anywhere. A nightmare like this often points to underlying anxiety about failures and what they might miss is this person's success. These fears, when repressed, can show up in their nightmares, which a lot of people would be surprised by how much suppressed anxiety and negativity they have about failing or coming up short. 7. Naked. Nightmares about being naked in public are mostly funny on waking up, but they can have a much more serious meaning. Individuals that experience these nightmares often have trouble with their self-image and have an issue with how they feel about themselves. People who are naked in public may fear that they will be judged by other people. This can lead to some pretty intense nightmares. 6. Teeth. The content of this dream sounds suspiciously like it's trying to exploit insecurities the person being dreamed about might have. Much like the dream about being naked in public, dreaming of teeth falling out often indicates the individual is feeling anxious and worried about what other people think of them. 5. Injuries. The imagery of woundedness and injury in our bad dreams is often a sign that something in our life feels fragile or vulnerable. When this happens, it can manifest through an unwillingness to get out of bed, resume normal activities including work, or just feel present. One way to tackle this menace is to find out what your weaknesses are and work on improving them. 4. Partner leaving. Nightmares about your partner leaving you can be rooted in real life. They might simply represent the fear that the individual has for their part. We don't like to admit it, but there are times when we can become insecure about our partner or subpar to them. This fear often manifests in nightmares that take the form of rejection. 3. Being trapped. People who suffer from claustrophobia often dream about being trapped. Being unable to move is the worst scenario for someone with this condition, and it can lead to a nightmare when a person who suffers from this problem falls asleep. But the idea of being stuck in a nightmare, such as those afflicted by economic poverty, dead-end jobs, or failed relationships, can also afflict those who fear they will be unable to escape. The nightmare can represent a fear of not achieving your full potential due to factors from the world around you. 2. Falling. Many people who have these icky dreams about falling are often anxious in their personal life. This usually is due to issues with money, relationships, careers, or some kind of abuse. Falling to one's death often has a sense of helplessness and the feeling that the person has lost control. This can be shared by those who feel like they are at a high point, but don't really know what their next step should be. 1. Being chased or attacked. This is by far the most common type of nightmare. These nightmares usually involve being chased or threatened by people, animals, or other creatures. Tackle these types of dreams head-on. They're a manifestation of anxiety in your life. Your boss is making you worry. A teacher is pushing you too hard. A parent is being too strict, or even a significant other is overbearing. A feeling of being chased can often be a sign that you are unable to confront certain parts of your personal life. Sometimes the actions in the chase are an expression of what's happening in your real life. For example, if you find yourself running away in your dreams, this may mean that you are using an avoidance strategy in real life. Taking note of the types of behavior you display in your nightmares can help you find correlating issues in your real life. If you're more aware, it may help you feel more at ease with any problems that are affecting your sleep. Dreams are not always bad. They can be happy, scary, tragic, or hilarious. Dreams are important for growth and development in all areas of life, like mental health, relationships, and confidence. There is no need to fear the future when we know that the worst-case scenario is that we end up in a nightmare world in our dreams. The key to solving any problem is to think about it logically and rationally, which is something that humans are best at. Thank you for watching. You can support us by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. See you soon.